Hi everyone, so today we'll be discussing the problem D from the latest AdCoder Beginner Contest 219. The problem name is Strange Lunchbox. So this was a very interesting problem. So let's read the problem statement. So what does the problem say? So problem says that a shop sells n kind of lunch boxes, one of each kind. So there are n kind of lunch boxes, and each of the lunch box, that is there are lunch boxes from 1 to n, and each of the lunch box is different from one another, right? And what the ith box contains ai number of octopus balls and bi number of fish shaped cakes, right? And what does Takashi want is it wants to eat x number of octopus and y number of fish shaped cakes, right? So in the end what you have to do is you have to decide, or you have to determine whether it is possible to buy some number of lunch boxes to get at least x number of x octopus balls and y number of fish shaped cakes. If it is possible, then you have to print the minimum number of lunch boxes that Takashi will take. If that is not the case, if it is not possible, suppose that you have taken all the n lunch boxes and still you are not able to get at least x number of octopus balls and y number of fish cakes, then what will happen is you have to print -1. Looking at the constraints, so let's look at the constraint. So constraint is n is less equal to 300, then x and y are also less equal to 300, ai and bi are also less equal to 300. So the if you look at the constraint, so it shows that the constraints indicate that this is a dp problem. The reason is because if it was not a dp problem, then the constraint would have been very high, but since the constraints are low, so you can go for a dp approach. So I told you like how if I like I when I was solving this problem, so I saw the constraints, and through the constraints I from the problem statement, and after reading the problem statement and looking at the constraints, I at the first instance only I thought that it will be done using dynamic programming. So we'll be looking at it like how we'll be doing it using recursive dynamic programming or memoization, I can say. So let's say that you have been given three. Let me copy this test case first. Let's come to OneNote, and then we'll discuss this briefly so that we can see. Like I'll like to move you forward. What is given is first you have been given n, then x and y, and then you have been given the n lunch boxes where the highest lunch box has ai and bi, ai number of octopus balls and y number of bi number of fish cakes, right? So I'll open the OneNote for you, and let me just erase this part. So what does the problem say? So the problem says, let me copy the test case here. uh, yeah, so this is the test case. I'll come to this test case. So in this you can see that for this test case what happens is, for this test case you have been given n as 3, and you have been given x as 5, y as 6, then you have been given ai and bi for the three cases, like, right? So you have to get x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 6. You have to get this. So how can you get it? Let's suppose you take 2 and 1, then you take 3 and 4, right? You take 3 and 4. So if you add both this, then you will get 5, and adding this you will get 5. So can you reach 5 comma 6? For you can reach x is equal to 5 but y is equal to 6. You got only y is equal to 5. So if you include this test case, then you cannot reach it, right? But let's take another case, like if you take 3 and 4 and you take 2 and 3, so what will happen is you will get a 7 and you will get a 5, right? You can see that if you include that, then your was 5 and you got 5 here, right? And your y was 6 and you had to get something that was greater equal to y, and you got 7 instead of 6, so that is okay. So yeah, so in by including two lunch boxes, This was the minimum number of lunch boxes that you could have included, and by including 2 lunch boxes you ended up getting the answer, right? How do you get a -1? How will you determine that you get a -1? So what you will do is you will sum all the AI and you will sum all the BI for I starting from 1 to n, and also this I starting from 1 to n, and if sum of all the AI is less than x, or it happens that the sum of all the BI is less than y, then what will happen is you will simply print -1. This is the case, this is the base case. So it is initially, it is not necessary that you start to solve the problem and in the end you will determine like when you will get a -1. So when you get the problem straight away, you can take the summation of all the AI and BI, and if either AI is less than x or BI is less than x, or both are less than x and y respectively, then you will simply print -1 because you cannot make the sum. But if that is the case, if what happens is, if for this test case, if you have sum of AI which is greater equal to x and sum of BI, one second, yeah, if you have all the summation of BI which is greater equal to y, then the answer exists. So what you will be doing is you will be applying dynamic programming to find the minimum possible number of lunch boxes that you will be taking, right? And how will you be doing this problem? So for doing this problem, what you will be doing is you will come up and let's see this test. So in this case, if you'll add all, let's see the second test case quite quickly. So if you see, you will add 3, 2, 2 and 2 for AI, you will get a 7, 3 to 5 and 2 7, and if you will add BI, then you will get 8. So your BI is sum of BI is greater equal to x. Your sum of BI is greater equal to y, but your x, you cannot reach the minimum limit of x by taking all the AIs. So what will happen is you will print simply -1. But if your answer exists, then what you will be doing? So if you look at this problem, since you have to minimize the number of lunch boxes that you are taking, like if your answer is valid, if it exists, then what you will be doing. So I'll be moving to the code part to explain you so that you can get the intuition much more. So what you will be doing, simply first you take n as input, then you will take x and y as input. Then what you will do is you have already declared an array of AI and BI. You simply take AI and BI, that is the ith lunch box. For the ith lunch box, you take AI and BI as input. Then you initialize your DP as -1 because the reason to do this is you do not want to reevaluate certain subproblems or states again and again. Then the problem will be, you will declare a recursive function solve that will in that function you will be passing 0 0 and 0. I will tell you because there are 3 parameters that are changing, or there are 3 variables, 3 states that are continuously changing and that you need to keep a track of. And in the end, if your answer is less than infinity, that is if your answer exists, then what you will be doing is, if your answer exists, then you will simply print the answer. If that is not the case, then you will simply print -1. So let's come to the recursive function. So what you will be I have done is I have declared infinity as 1e9. You can declare anything you want. Then since n is 300, so I have declared n is equal to 305, so that I can determine my size of DP. That is, for each state I will be giving 305 as the size. Then what I'll be doing is the 3 states that are varying are I, that is the ith lunch box is varying. Then my A, what is my A? My A is the AI for the ith lunch box, and my B, that is my BI for the ith lunch box. What I'll be doing is, let's suppose that if you are at the current state where you have I, A and B, then if your summation of A if so far your summation of A is greater equal to x and your summation of B is also greater equal to y, then what you will be doing is, you can simply say that you have reached all the states. You can simply say that you have completed the task, that is you have determined that it is possible, and you will be returning because you will not take at this chance. So this condition tells us that it is valid, the state will be valid. You can get the number of boxes to get minimum x and minimum y that is needed. And what you will be doing after that, like let's suppose that if your if doesn't run, that is if you haven't reached till now, and you have exhausted the number of lunch boxes, that you have completed all the lunch boxes, then what you will be doing is you will be returning infinity. Why infinity? Because since you have to find the minimum number of lunch boxes, so that means that this particular state where I is greater equal to n, in this state will be, what will be happening is, for this state, this simply means that this state is not valid. So to declare it invalid, or to determine to say that it is invalid, you will be returning infinity, so that your minimum function will ignore this, because minimum will try to minimize your answer, right? And if that is not the case, then simply you will try to find an answer for the ith for the particular state where you are at the ith lunch box, and your current sum is current sum for the ai is a, and the current sum of for the current sum of octopus balls is a, and the fish cakes is b. If your answer has not yet been determined, if your answer is already pre-calculated, if your state has been already pre-calculated, then you will simply return -1. And if that is not the case, then what you will do is, you can see that this is something like knapsack only, because what you are doing is, let's suppose what you can do is, first of all, what you will be doing is this state, right? Solve of I plus 1 comma a comma b. So what you do is, at this particular ith state, if you are at the ith state, just don't take, you will not, let's suppose that you are at the ith state and you don't take, you don't add the ai or bi at this state. So what you will be doing is, you are simply moving to the next index, right? You are simply moving to the next index. And this is the thing that can happen, that for this particular state, for the ith lunchbox, you are not taking anything, and you are simply moving with the current sum of a and the current sum of b that you have, and you are moving to the I plus 1th state. Another thing that can happen is that you have taken this lunchbox, so you will add 1, and then what you will do is, you will, your solve function, in the solve function you will pass I plus 1, because you will want to move to the next iteration, you will want to move to the next lunchbox. And what you will be doing is, since you have to minimize your answer, so what you will be doing is, you will be taking the minimum of a plus ai comma x, right? Why? Because a is the sum of ai that you have taken so far, and then you will be adding this ai, that is the current ai, and you will be taking the minimum from x only, right? You will try to minimize your answer. And another part is for the bi also. Let's suppose that you have a summation of b up till now, then what you can do is, you can add the bith state, or you can stay where you are. Like if you add bi to capital bi to b, then it exceeds y, then what you will be doing is, you will be simply taking the minimum of this. So you will take y if bi plus capital bi exceeds, right? And this is the simple knapsack kind of approach. Then what you will be doing is, you will be taking minimum of the two states. So this is all, then you will be returning the answer for this particular state. So this is how you will be calculating the problem. So this was a simple dynamic programming implementation. So in case this is the cleanest code that I could write for this problem, it is very similar to knapsack. You can try to dry run this problem. If you have solved knapsack, then there will be no problem understanding or solving this problem. So in case if you have any doubts, you can mention that in the comments, and I'll try to solve your doubts as soon as possible. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to subscribe the channel, and like the video. Thanks.